Jump to this story here. This is from the Financial Times. Ladies and gentlemen, this is another video for all of you just before Thanksgiving. I hope you keep this one saved, bookmark it, copy the URL, share it with friends and family, and have it ready to go because this one matters. Trump broke Democrats' thermostat. The American left was sent spinning in 2016 and has yet to recalibrate. You need only look at these graphs of Democrat swing. If you look at where the Democrats were in 1996, they were only a few points away from the median voter and only a few points away from Republicans. The same was true on the issue of immigration. In 1996, Democrats and the median voter, as well as Republicans, were largely similar on cutting immigration. Net percentage support. You had around 20%, minus 20% support for immigration. And with Republicans, you had about 25. Take a look at what happened in 2008. Democrats veer so far to the left, they leave the median voter and the Republicans behind, jumping from minus 20 to plus 40 in 12 years. You can take a look at support for affirmative action. It's much the same. In 2012 is when you see this massive leftward lurch that just Democrats have jumped so far left. Now, what the Democrats have been trying to say about these graphs is that actually it's a perspective framing. If you show left and rightward lurch, but you keep Democrats as a center, it's the right that's veering to the left. Wrong. These are support or opposition for political policies, not whether a party moved necessarily. Democrats radically adopted new policies in an extremely short period of time. Take a look at this. This graph is where it's very interesting. Many of the people who shape Democratic Party politics and policy hold views far to the left of the voting population. Take a look at Republican political elites and influencers, and you can see that they're just about in the right. That's where the bell curve is. The American voters have a little bit on the left and a little bit on the right. I've often described the average person, the moderate and the Republican, as the true left and the right. But look at Democrat political elites and influencers. What is this very strange tale that defies the bell curve that exists in this far left space? This is tainting the rest of the left. And this is exactly what we're talking about. This is where the influencers are. They are driving their party insane. It is a cult. And these are the data points you need to show your friends and family when they claim Trump is far right or I'm far right. Or, I mean, even Steven Crowder's a run-of-the-mill conservative. They say Barry Weiss is far right now. They say Joe Rogan is far right. Take a look at why they're saying it. They've shot so far to the left, they can't tell what's going on.
They went from safe, legal, and rare to we'll keep them comfortable. That's what that blue says to me. And that only happened in a short amount of time.
But you also realize Democrats don't know what that means.
Right. Yeah.
It
depends on where you're looking, what demographics on social media.
If you go to any Democrat and say, do you know what it means to say, we'll keep them comfortable?
Right.
They're going to say, no, what is that?
Right.
If you go to any Republican, they're going to be like, yeah, that was Northam when he said to abort babies that are alive.
It depends on what their media diet is.
And the reason why they're on the left is because their media diet is cult media.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, 2008 is also Obama.
Liberals who get their news from a diverse array of media, that's Joe Rogan. Liberals who get their views from MSNBC will have no idea what this is. That's why Alan Lichtman was so wrong in his prediction on what's going to happen, because he turns on MSNBC and they're like, not a single scandal. Obama had no scandals. So, there you go.
No Fast and Furious.
Yep. Nope. Just a tan suit.
No war crimes.
Yep.
Crazy.
Tan suit, nothing else.
I watched CNN so much when we were in Nashville in the hotel room. I couldn't believe it was a window into another dimension.
Condolences.
Yeah, I know. I still have like a hangover from so much CNN, but I was curious, because I don't have a TV and I don't watch it ever. But it was people that exist in another dimension talking about a world I do not recognize at all.
Same with MSNBC.
Oh yeah,
they're in their own reality, and they honestly believe that the American people are stupid, honestly, and that the fact that they want to be able to have lower gas prices, be able to afford groceries, not have to worry about potentially being murdered by someone crossing the border, that they think that that's sexist or fascist or racist or anything, that people want those. Or, women that voted for Donald Trump have internalized misogyny. No, you're so out of touch with reality. Women's reproductive rights was not the priority for this election. People want to be able to feed their families, that they don't have to worry about their kids' safety. And MSNBC still can't let go of that to this day. Even today, they're still talking about how, you know, we're crazy for thinking that these are actual issues and that what they're talking about, those are the most important issues.
Oh, they were so condescending. They were literally saying uneducated people voted for Trump. And it's a bunch of overeducated talking heads spewing that 24/7 on all those networks.
Yeah. Take a look at this. They say for the first time in at least 80 years, voters associate the Democrats more with socio-cultural issues than with class and economic solidarity. They used to represent the working class, and as of 2012, they now stand up for marginalized groups and healthcare.
I mean, this is a bit lagging, but that's been the goal of the left since probably the 50s. There's this guy, Herbert Marcuse, that wrote, and I talked about this morning, this guy, Herbert Marcuse, that wrote a lot, and he's a philosopher, a leftist philosopher, and he wrote a lot, and he acknowledged that capitalism, he said, capitalism delivers the goods. Capitalism provides a good life for the average working man. And it does, unquestionably. It's raised more people out of poverty than any other economic system in history. So he said, you're not going to be able to find the revolutionary energy with the working class anymore, because the working class was actually getting out of poverty. They were actually achieving a good life. And the part of why they're now going to people that tend to be mentally ill, people that are unhappy, people that have grievances, because people that are happy and content with their lives, that have hope for the future, they don't engage in revolutionary activities. So what you have to do is foment a population to hate the country that they live in. He said that the revolutionary energy was going to be in the ghetto populations, is what he said, and he was talking about people of color. Back then, he was talking about mostly black people, but nowadays it's expanded to anyone that's people, any kind of people of color, whether it be blacks, Hispanics, LGBTQ people. Very frequently are among the people that are, and it's more the TQ people than the LG people nowadays. But the point is, the people that are happy with their lives don't want to tear the system down. They don't want to see a revolution. They don't want to see a change in the way that we, organize our lives. People that believe that the world is going to be on fire in 2 decades, they want to see a change. People that believe that we live in a systemically racist society, they want to see a change. The people that believe that we live in a largely bigoted society, they want to see a change. And that was something that he acknowledged. He said the people that are unhappy, the people that are in the ghetto communities, they're where the future for the left exists. The working class, we've lost them because largely the system in the United States works for anyone that's willing to go to work, anyone that wants to try and put the effort in. For the most part, it's a system that provides for the people. Ben Shapiro says this a lot. He says there's 3 things that you need to not have generational poverty in your family. You need to not have a kid out of wedlock. You need to go to work, and you need to finish school. If you do those 3 things, you're probably not going to be destitute your whole life. And it's fairly simple to do those things.
I'll disagree on the school part, but everything else is good.
Well, I mean,
these days,
the thing about school, it's not. He didn't even say go to college. He just said he said high school, and basically what that means is he's just saying, look, be able to finish what you start. Right. So it's not really about having the high school diploma, though. Some basic education helps a lot.
Well, it's good to be, for sure, plugged in. But what you're saying is like the seeds of victimhood currency promote the nihilism that we saw in Summer of Love.
Yep.
And that's like, basically what you're talking about. A lot of people buy into that. And a lot of them come out of the Marxist college world that I was a part of for a little while, as a professor, seeing that whole place just get rotting from the inside out.
And they're lied to endlessly. The people that were rioting during the Summer of Love, they genuinely believed that thousands of innocent, unarmed black men were killed every year. Yep. And it's like an average of like 13.
I don't know that I believe that. I think that most of the people who are rioting know it's not true. And it's the peaceful marchers who believe it was thousands of black people were killed.
The rioters were taking advantage of it?
Yeah, and that's how it tends to be. So my experience covering all of these various protest movements over the past, 10 years. It was largely like an 8-year period where I was covering most of it. The people who are wearing all black and smashing things will tell you in great detail about what's going on. They use the lies in the media to get bodies that they can use as cover. 15 far-left extremists cannot tear down statues and smash things. They need 500 regular people who are confused and stupid and walking around. What they then do is they hide in the middle of the crowds, start fights with cops, and get people radicalized. So one example is they have a color code system for how they do this. They will create zones where they plan on who will get arrested and who will not. And they intentionally want to put as many normies as possible in the arrest line. So they'll call for a protest, peaceful protest. They'll get a handful of people wearing black bloc. When the normies complain and say, we don't want this, they say you have to respect the diversity of tactics. That's what they call it. Diversity of tactics. Not everybody agrees on how to change the world. And you're not a Nazi, are you? Like, you got to let them do that. Hey, they're not you. You do your thing. They'll do theirs. They'll get the normies in the front of the group. Then one of these guys will crouch down and chuck a bottle at a cop. Then the cops will start moving in. They say, this is an unlawful assembly. You're under arrest. The normies, 20-year-old college women and men, have no idea what's going on. Someone will go up to the front of the line and hit a cop. The cops will then start attacking the entire line. They'll arrest. This is the goal of the left. They've explained this in their direct action meetings. They call them direct action. They'll arrest as many people as possible. Then when these normies are terrified, they've never been arrested before, they find themselves in jail. They're brought to the jail in New York where they cram every one of these tiny cells. They're deeply uncomfortable. They're standing for hours. It's super hot. They're super sweaty. And the leftists then say, don't you see what they do to people? You didn't even do anything wrong and they arrested you. Let's hold hands and sing songs. They try to then love bomb you to make you feel good. They say, who knows a good song? And they'll sing some like 90s rock song that everybody knows. Then everyone's singing and feeling good. They'll say, take my number down and call me. We need your help. That's how they radicalize people. They intentionally get them arrested and then use that experience to radicalize them into joining their group.
Crazy. Sounds like those tactics were also used at January 6th. They have, people.
That's a little different.
But there were people, I believe, that showed up to instigate, and then a lot of other people who weren't involved directly.
Oh, that for sure.
Arrested. I'm
saying, like, when they brought the J6ers to jail, they just
not that part.
They beat the education into them.
Not that part.
They didn't sing songs. They were like. I hear that the J6ers were forced to like read stories and learn about why they're radicalized or something.
That's insane. Yeah, I'm talking about the agitation part outside.
That's what gulags were. Gulags were re-education camps.
Oh, yeah.
People think that gulags were just work camps. They weren't. The Nazis had death camps. The point of going to those places was to work you to death and for you to die. Mm-hmm. You could go to the gulag, do your 10 years, and if you came out and if you properly could recite the leftist ideology, then you could actually come out and go and integrate back into society. But that's the difference between an authoritarian and a totalitarian regime. A totalitarian regime demands that you think the correct thoughts. An authoritarian regime just wants compliance. If you do what you're supposed to do and keep your mouth shut, you can fly under the radar and you can get away with, being like, not agreeing with whoever's in control. Don't tell anyone about it, but you can get away with it. Yep. But if you're in a totalitarian regime, they want to make sure that you think the right thoughts.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.